Today is Triple H a bad
What is up, everybody? NC.
JC and
We're back with Triple H as a bad booker, and this one is about LA Knight, a guy who it's criminal how badly they have dropped the ball with LA Knight. Here you have a talent that, granted, I thought he was doing okay as Max Dupree. Sure, he's in a goofy fucking comedy role, but he could be better.
And the name at least makes more sense than LA Knight.
Right, but then he goes back to LA Knight as soon as Triple H comes back into authority. Automatically he becomes LA Knight with no fucking explanation whatsoever. That was the biggest thing. It's like, if you're going to take a character and do a change like that, at least have it make sense.
Okay,
right.
So
what is?
Let's first talk about the major thing. Is Triple H a bad booker? Of course not. I think he is a way better booker than Vince McMahon. Let's keep it 100. Triple H at least tries with different people. Yes, a lot of those people are from his former NXT from 2020, 2021, before he left when he had the heart scare. But at the same time, it's not really fair to judge him right now. We're almost in the... Heck, I think we're in a year. Honestly, that'd be a pretty good video, 1 whole year of Triple H WWE. Right now, I think he's done a good job, Without Triple H, we wouldn't have gotten Sami Zayn. You know what I'm saying? Without Triple H, the whole Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens bloodline storyline would not have happened. So I can't really say that Triple H is a bad booker. They're going to discuss LA Knight, so let's see what they say more specifically about LA Knight.
This is reason for dumping his stable. All these guys who he was bringing up. What is his reason for dumping the stable, dumping the glasses, and going back to his NXT gimmick?
It was a really weak change. Well, the Max Dupree thing give him kind of like a Ric Flair type gimmick, where he's like this rich guy.
Right. Well, and that at least...
I disagree, mainly because the Max Dupree gimmick was to put over Masay and Mansoor. Max Dupree, I think, wasn't supposed to wrestle. He was a manager now. That was the problem with it. Well, why we all hated Max Dupree was because they basically forced LA Knight, who, yes, he's an incredible talker, but he could still wrestle. Cody Rhodes in AEW said that one of the guys he wanted to bring into AEW in 2019 was LA Knight, Eli Drake. So that doesn't make sense. Why would you put someone who could still wrestle? Yes, he's older. He's like 40. But might as well put him to wrestle. I mean, Brock Lesnar is 40? Rey Mysterio is 45, 46. Bobby Lashley is 46. All these top talents, they're older. I don't think it's really smart to have have a guy so talented, not just in the promo department, in the interview department, in the talking department, in the catchphrases. Why would you have him as only a manager, And then compared to, Mansoor, he is a high flyer, and Mace is a giant. They kind of failed in their role because, Mace was in Retribution. That whole thing was horrible. Nobody talks about that. Mansoor, except for the Saudi Arabia shows, he only gets, he's been losing. So, LA Knight was actually, because he was so talented, they put him up to, get these two guys over because they knew that he was going to get them over more than the other guys. And then remember in NXT, he was wrestling, Gunther. He was putting over the other guys like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes over. It's just,
would have kind of melded in with the Eli Drake character that he had in TNA. Is that he always went for that Hollywood actor type appeal. That's what I could gain from him. Granted, he never was an actor, but the way he carried himself, the way he dressed, he looked like he could be in Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
He looked like a top level star. And it just tripped me out. Okay, so you go ahead and you see how he was badly misused in Impact, made to dress up like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, they fired him because he wouldn't job out to Jordan Grace.
Good.
He refused that match, and they're like, all right, Bunkhouse all right, well, you can try to go be a big star in NWA. So here this...
And he did. He became one of the best things in NWA, next to Nick Aldis? Camille? The NWA was suffering at that time. I don't think anybody was watching it. Even though they had, an amazing roster now, I think about it. They had Thunder Rosa, Ricky Starks. So I think Eddie Kingston was in NWA for a little bit. So a lot of guys that went now to AEW, they were in the NWA. And I agree with them. It's good that if it is true that Eli Drake didn't want to job out to Jordan Grace, yes, I made a video about Jordan Grace about the whole Chris Benoit incident, but I never took it away from her wrestling ability and the way she looks. She's like what, 5'2", and she's like a big old power. Damn, my throat. She's like a big old powerhouse. I don't think it's really cool for someone like a LA Knight's caliber to job to that. So I agree with that. But saying that, he went to NWA and was a nobody, I disagree.
Guy goes to NWA out of all fucking companies.
Yeah.
And they mistreat him too.
They did, of course.
Billy Corgan had a top level star on his hands. Didn't once make him a top champ. He was fodder.
The good news is that when Vince does,
yeah, that was a big mistake. They should have made him, honestly, NWA World Champion. That would have been great, because Nick Aldis was champion. Why would you have Nick Aldis as someone of that caliber?
take control again, LA Knight's still going to be there.
True.
He's not going to get. I don't think he's going to get future endeavor.
Nah, well, because he's too good of a hand to do so. But that's the thing too, is that he survives off of being a good hand, and by the fact that he doesn't complain. But at the same time, this guy, he was buried by a damaged product in Bray Wyatt, and this is coming off the fact that he.
Okay, let's talk about LA Knights basically. Since leaving Maximum Male Models, he did good. He got a couple of wins. Then he went into the feud with Bray Wyatt. Now, the problem with that is I think two reasons kind of hindered the storyline. One, Bray Wyatt, I feel like he didn't want to go back to The Fiend because The Fiend was the perfect wrestling monster. It was perfect, but I think he wanted to separate himself from The Fiend, so he created, Uncle Howdy, Uncle Duty, Uncle whatever, and he kind of hindered himself there. And then also LA Knight was so unbelievably popular that you started feeling like, why is he here? And also those two were kind of a mismatch. LA Knight is more of a traditional wrestler, while Bray Wyatt, in the same vein, is traditional, but he's not a ring general. And as much as Eli Drake does have the charisma and the veteran status, I don't think he's also a ring general as well. He can carry himself, but I don't think he can carry someone else.
Got over organically with the crowd.
Yeah,
he had the crowd in the palm of his hand during the Bray Wyatt feud. And what happened? Triple H is like, you're not the guy at force feeding down people's throats, so fuck you.
And for all the people who want to give Triple H credit.
Okay. To be fair with Triple H, I think he saw the amount of merch money that Bray Wyatt was bringing out to the table. I mean, wouldn't you want to be putting that guy over? I mean, Bray Wyatt, since his return, was selling hotcakes, Freaking, when I went to a live show in around October, November, when Bray Wyatt came back after Extreme Rules, we just got shown a highlight clip of Bray Wyatt's return in Extreme Rules. Everybody was over there excited, putting on their lights from their phones. People were wearing the Bray Wyatt gear. You would think that Bray Wyatt is a big deal, so losing to Bray Wyatt isn't bad. It's just the match that was bad.
For changing his gimmick back to LA Knight, he's been on a massive fucking losing streak.
Dude, he's feuding with Xavier Woods and getting his ass kicked by Xavier Woods right now. Look how bad that is.
Okay. So this is a month ago. Okay, after the Bray Wyatt feud, he was in a losing streak, and that was really hard to see because I am a big LA Knight fan. I love LA Knight. He took a lot of losses, and I think his one win was against Rey Mysterio only because Dominic was feuding with Rey, and so LA Knight took an opportunity from that. So I don't think it's really fair. I think they were trying to do. I think they should have done a story behind that. You know, where LA Knight gets cocky, too cocky that he starts realizing that, you know, he starts turning babyface. Because in my opinion, that's what I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see a babyface Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Bray Wyatt is somewhere. Wait, what was I saying? I'm sorry. He's in the level of someone as Bray Wyatt. You know, he's in the top tier talent, and he could be. You know, he can come out. He could be like The Rock, honestly. He could be someone like Triple H, where you look at him, that's a star right there, and because he can talk smack, that'll make people more likable. He has a Rocky Maivia syndrome, where people don't like him when they're a baby face, but then when they turn heel, immediately they like him. You know, people like John Cena. You know, he came with the ruthless aggression. Nobody liked him or paid attention. He became a heel with the Thugonomics gimmick. Everybody liked it. He turned babyface, superstar. The Rock, Rocky Maivia, Die Rocky Die. He turned heel with the Nation of Domination, the Corporation, turned babyface, superstar. Roman Reigns left the Shield, was pushed so much, everybody hated him. They booed him out of the building. Turned heel with the Tribal Chief, superstar. So I think that's what they were trying to do with LA Knight. You know, like after the whole Max Dupree gimmick, and then they're bringing in his sister, and he has to do all this modeling thing. I think what they should have done is had like some sort of humbling gimmick for LA Knight. He realizes that he can't be anyone, and maybe he gets help from the fans. He gets them to cheer him. He's so cocky that you can't help but cheer him, like a Ric Flair or The Rock. So you could have done something like that. And right now, I just got spoiled from SmackDown. Right now, LA Knight is fighting Montez Ford. You know, I'm just saying, maybe we could have seen a double turn or whatever. But who knows?
The worst member of New Day.
He's lost, 20 matches in the past 8 months?
He's the new
Austin.
That's
not fair. Xavier Woods, okay. It's because he hasn't won a world championship. Xavier Woods has a lot of accomplishments. He started the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Big E were in mid-card purgatory. Those guys were doing nothing. They were former IC champion winners. Former United States Championship winner. Kofi in 2009 was about to face Randy Orton. He was feuding with him. So much so that Randy Orton, when he accidentally got hurt, kind of kiboshed that whole thing. And Kofi Kingston has been a multiple time World Tag Team Champion. Big E was a former IC champion. Xavier Woods was doing nothing, and he came up, you know, in storyline. It's a shame that you guys aren't, you know, doing something. We should team up. There you go, the New Day. He has Francesca, you know, his instrument. That's a pretty big deal. He fucked Paige. That was pretty cool. You know, so don't discredit Xavier Woods. Yeah.
So the champ was saying, calling it once Vince comes back, everyone getting repackaged back to their old gimmicks.
Yep.
Welcome back, Max Dupree, and Derek's gonna love it, pal. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right on. I mean,
I'll talk about that later. Is there anything else of interest?
Guarantee you.
What is Gunther doing with the title?
Gunther hogging the fucking title. He will hog.
Oh, come on. Okay. These guys try hard. Gunther is like the most prestigious champion right now. I think he's a better champion than Roman. When you look at Gunther, you could place him in any time period. In the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, the 2000s. He could be in any time. We're lucky to have him right now. We're so lucky. I'm a big Gunther fan too. I don't know.
He's going to hog that title more than he did the NXT UK title.
For sure. Oh, yeah, no, it's not. It's literally not going to come off him until Vince comes back in power.
Yes.
Vince is going to take the title off that fucking skinny fucking emaciating chicken looking motherfucker.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is even if like Seth Rollins doesn't have a title, like even if they like, isn't Austin Theory the champ now? I can't even.
He's the U.S. champ. Yeah.
Okay, so Austin's holding the title right now. Even then, Seth is getting the biggest push of his life. He beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
How does that make any fucking sense?
It doesn't. Well, what makes sense is that Triple H is booking his people.
Well, and that's the type of guy. Honestly, he would squash LA Knight to Seth Rollins. He would squash LA Knight to any of his top guys.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much squashed him like career.
Okay. I'm only gonna watch a few of this video. What do you say? They call Triple H a racist. In this video? Triple H isn't a racist. Literally, okay, all their women's champions. The majority are like Asian. Io, Asuka. Roxanne is Hispanic. Ember Moon is black. His 3 top women, an Australian girl, an African American girl, and a Mexican American girl. How the hell is Triple H racist? And those are just the females. He loves the Street Profits. He put guys like Angel Garza, Santos Escobar over. He wanted to put Kushida over, but he knew that Vince McMahon wasn't going for him. Now, whether he's a racist, a secret racist, might be something. But I don't think Triple H is an actual racist in storyline, unlike Vince McMahon. He literally said the N-word. That's
otherwise, I mean, he's lost over 20 fucking matches.
Alright, just someone super into cats. Into cats, I mean, sorry about that. Their philosophy, Vince gave 3 black people the world title and Hunter gave 0 black people the world title. Yeah, that's true and all, but like, Triple H is in his first year. Vince McMahon's been doing this for 40 years. For 40 fucking years. And in those 40 years, he only gave like 3-4 black guys with the world championship. He basically made Bianca Belair Super Cena. If he had Sasha Banks and Naomi, they probably would have been better than what they would have been doing with Vince McMahon. Damage Control is... I know what they were trying to do with it. It failed, but they were good. Asuka is like super over than she's ever been since 2018. Triple H, no, that doesn't make sense. Triple H is not racist. It's so stupid.
He's a jobber.
These guys are stupid.
He literally, when he's on TV.
Wait a minute, have you seen this? So you said that you saw this video. Is he like anti WWE, anti AEW, or pro AEW? What is it? Anti Triple H, anti AEW, pro Vince. These guys really okay. Vince McMahon did good stuff back in his heyday. Have you seen the stuff we were watching in 2021, 2022? Rhea Ripley. Super over today. She's like a mega star. Everybody in TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. She's a mega star. They gave her the title once and she lost it back to Charlotte. Gunther was probably gonna get jobbed out. Gunther. LA Knight was Max Dupree. They blame Stephanie for what Vince did. Honestly, Stephanie should have done this a whole long time ago. And I'm not discrediting Vince McMahon. Yes, he's a genius. He's probably one of the best promoters out there. There's a difference between promoters and bookers. I learned that from various shoot interviews, people talking interviews, all that stuff. Promoters are the ones that are telling people come to the wrestling show. Bookers are the ones that are making the actual show. Vince McMahon is an amazing promoter. He's the one who made WWE mainstream. And that's great for WWE, but as a booker, he always had someone else. He had a writing team. He had Pat Patterson. Vince McMahon isn't a good booker.
and he's in a match, you're pretty much pre-conditioned to believe that he's going to lose the match.
Right.
That's the problem with it. And bent over backwards for Chris Hero.
Yep.
Unfucking believable.
It's amazing.
They would rather have a fucking bloated Chris Hero than have a young LA Knight.
Ring of Honor is worth so much to them. A dead company owned.
Okay, Chris Hero was bloated at the time, but you also need to remember, Triple H brought LA Knight to NXT. I don't know if these guys haven't watched WWE, you know, Triple H's NXT, but he brought LA Knight. He brought Eli Drake to NXT.
Owned by Tony Khan is worth so much to these fucking marks in the industry right now.
And here's the thing. Triple H turned a blind eye.
Well,
he knew everything that was going on, and he turned a fucking blind eye.
Right. Well, and if anything, what he did is he embraced smart culture and he embraced indie culture because he knew right there that is what would gain him the fans online. He knew that it's already a dead business, but what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and salvage what's left, and I'm going to go ahead and make them super fans of WWE. That's what it was all about. Him to physically die. I just want him to mentally crumble from watching everything that he built get destroyed and get buried. I want Vince to bury everything that he loves, and I want him to take all the stars that he tried to sabotage, like Austin Theory, like Karrion Kross, like LA Knight, take all those guys and make them into main event level stars.
Do these guys not get that he fired Karrion Kross and LA Knight? Well, he didn't fire LA Knight, but he basically fired him because we got Max Dupree. You saw how Karrion Kross, his first match, he lost to Jeff Hardy. And it wasn't through all ultimate, you know, twist of fate, swanton, 1, 2, 3. It was through a roll-up. And he was the NXT champion. He was like undefeated there. Triple H brought Karrion Kross back. Yes, there's a problem with how Karrion Kross is right now, but I think it's because Triple H now has to still maintain the ones that were being booked good by Vince McMahon, like the Biancas and the Romans, that he doesn't have that much time to do with Karrion Kross. I was hoping now with the brand split he might do something, but it doesn't look like it. Is Triple H a perfect booker? The best booker? No. Is Triple H a bad booker? I wouldn't say so.
You need future in the WWE. You need people who can be in the main event. All three of those guys fit the role. Bring back Bobby Lashley up into the main event.
Let's see how they end it.
Ew. It's right up nose man's alley, damn it. Thank God he hasn't done anything with LA Knight like that yet.
If he has another month in creative, probably.
Right. So, guys, that has been our Triple H's Bad Booker, episode 20 on dropping the ball on LA Knight.
Okay. Look, I'll say this and we can move on from these guys because it's getting ridiculous. LA Knight, has he been misused? I would say so. Is this Triple H's fault? Probably, because he's now in charge. Or so it seems, because if you've seen the reports and the dirt sheets, you see that Vince McMahon might be talking a little bit to his son-in-law. It's not all Triple H, and he does have Bruce Pritchard there, and he's a bit Vince McMahon fan. I don't know. I feel like it's ridiculous. But yeah, is Triple H a bad booker? I wouldn't say so. Is LA Knight being buried? At a short time he was, but now stuff is starting to get back. We need Trump back in WWE. I saw the comment. That'd be interesting. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't bring Trump after he lost the election. That would have been hilarious TV. Vince McMahon versus Donald Trump. Part 2 WrestleMania. That probably would have been awesome, but they probably would realize they would lose a lot of fans. But yeah, that's it. Triple H finds a cure for cancer. Oh, I bet he stole his idea from Vince. Probably, Triple H can cure, cancer, find the recipe to end world hunger, can make the best world champion ever. Nah, it was Vince. It probably was Vince. So, You know, there's this video, guys. Any more comments or concerns? Or should we move on to something else? Concerned I lost brain cells. Yeah, me too, bro. Let's watch something else. What do you recommend, man? What do you recommend? What should we watch? This is like an open mic night. Or a jukebox or whatever. Just put in what you want. 'Cause right now we ain't doing anything. Get away from these pardon my language, these goons. These bozos. Honestly, they should be grateful that Vince McMahon is gone. Jesus Christ. A video praising Triple H. You don't need to watch a video, man. I already praised Triple H like all this video. All throughout this time watching this video, I basically had Triple H's cock in my mouth. But if you want more stuff, I mean, Triple H, he's done good. He's helped SmackDown and Raw in the ratings. He's made WWE more watchable. He knows about social media. You know, Logan Paul. He brought in Logan Paul, not Vince McMahon. Triple H did. He gave Shawn Michaels the bookings for NXT, and NXT is looking amazing. Raw and SmackDown. The only negative thing I have to say about Triple H is that, you know, the brand split wasn't what I wanted. The Bray Wyatt experiment, Karrion Kross experiment wasn't as good as we all thought. You know, I'm pretty sure he's still high on like Ronda Rousey, which is a shame, but what can you do? She is a big star. You know, there's just a lot of things that it's either out of Triple H's, you know, hands, or that, you know, he saw that he can, you know, there were his projects. The Photoshop on that nose, though, I'll give this credit. That is a great Photoshop, honestly. Alright, well,